Well, I've been looking for one of these. I've got two of the others, but I always wanted this when I was a kid. Could never get hold of it or afford it. And there are some stupid prices being asked for these on eBay, and they're not selling. I don't know why people don't actually, look at what they've sold for and advertise them for a realistic price. But there's a guy got a pair on 120 quid. There's someone else asking £80 for one of these, and £60. And if you're lucky, they'll sell for about 25, which is OTT for me. This one was advertised as, I think someone had obviously over the years collected many things for a railway that never came to fruition, and probably died and never got anywhere to build in it. So the marketing on it, or the advert, was that it's never been used. Now, it's had this added to it since the photographs were taken. A couple of the insulators were loose enough to be pulled out, which I've just put back in, but the wheels have got no wear on them, so I don't discount that it's either not been used or it's had very, very little use. And from the same seller I got these. As you can see, the seal's never been broken. Now obviously you can undo that end and take them out, which is what I've done, just to make sure they were all intact. But the Redland ones do command a bit of a premium price for some reason. Again, someone's put some tissue in that, so obviously they've been opened, but the seals are all there. So I picked them up because I was after building a rake of Redland ones, which sort of started off at not too bad a price and ended up getting an expensive hobby. Haha! And a later edition, which is the 3-pack, slightly larger box. Don't know why they started growing their packaging and making it more expensive if you're using more material, but so we managed to pick up 6 3-packs. I think they're the individual ones, and they're the triple pack. These were £30 or £32, which is a lot more than I've paid for PGAs typically, but the Redland ones are getting rather expensive. One moment. Else I was about to bid on, which was what that alarm was, is a Lima PTA body, because I happen to have a Rogue chassis with no body. This turned up and I thought, that'd be handy, I can buy that cheap. Not anymore. That's now got to £7.50, £3 postage, so we're over, getting towards £11. Guess what you can buy for £11? One with frigging wheels on it. But it just doesn't make sense what people will go for. That is just a body, there's no chassis on it, so it's not a case of if you've got a pair of bogies you can just pop them in the underfloor. You can see there should be a metal weight, and then the chassis frame clips into that, and then your pair of bogies. So I have a frame, might have a pair of wheels, but yeah, that's blown that out of the water, because there's no practical value to buy that and make it a running wagon when that's now going to cost as much as a wagon would anyway. But that seems to be eBay. Now, I had this turn up, which I tracked back. I had ordered it back in November, and I had booked another item in thinking it was the shipment, and this turned up. Oh, what the bloody hell's this come from? It's no January. This was 11th of November. Some of the Chinese lead times they were sort of getting to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month average, but some stuff will turn up in 11 days. But I think these lockdowns they're having over there are causing havoc, and now they've obviously gave it up as a bad job finally and realised what the rest of the world's done, but they're now 2 years behind it. hence they have an explosion of cases, and the country's on its knees because nearly everyone's off sick. Another delivery from the same location was 20 servos, which I buy them from there because they're sort of round about £1 or just under. And I use these. I've got some kits coming which utilise servos, so I wanted a few of these for my turnout controls, as I have got a lot of pico point motors, but where I haven't got a pico point motor, these will be going in and replacement, because these are obviously considerably cheaper for one of these than it is a new pico point motor or rails point motor. And they've got for several uses, and you can do a bit of modification to them as well. So I've got quite a few of these now, because potentially the layout will have about 100 turnouts. Not all of them need to be electrically controlled, but obviously the ones on the main line will be. And obviously if pico point motors do fail, then I will be replacing them with these as a retrofit, but unless I change the whole thing, but then you've got to make an adapter plate for putting these on. So we'll you know, it's another one of those, cross that bridge when we get to it sort of things. But they are quite useful little motor. I just thought I'd boot the camera up as I was just transferring some files, and my dog walked past when I got up and took the lead between the computer and the camera. So the camera ended up on the floor with the screen thing open, so it's a little bit loose now, so hopefully this video is still working. It looks like it's recording okay anyway. So what we have here is some Jumble lane printing, Jeff Redmond's little chimney pots. There's 3 varieties in there. I've stripped them off the build plate, whatever you call it. Don't know whether I can find a use for that. You never know. Never throw anything away if you're modelling. So I ordered some of the raised cabinets. I can't remember what one I ordered. I think it was a right hand, and then the double one which has got a staircase both sides and an extra set of cabinets. But as you can see, I'm telling you about that, but I haven't got it, because I've got a left hand and a right hand instead of a left hand or a right hand and a double. So I messaged him, and he's going to send me another correct one out. So I got these. They turned up Hermes or Evil, I don't know what the hell you call it, Evil. Both the handrails did get snapped. Nothing major. I didn't bother informing him about it, as par of the course. They are a bit fragile 3D printed products. Some areas were detached here as well. I didn't notice that until I actually flexed it. But I tried the UV glue that's technically not a glue. Takes a while to cure. I've got a little UV torch, so maybe it's not proper strong LEDs, but it has worked. Both of these sort of received the same damage. I think it was this one, the handrail was bent, and when I moved that, the bottom one was broken off. I just dribbled some of the glue in and left the lamp on it for a couple of minutes, and it seems to have worked, and it still remains flexible to a degree, and being clear doesn't show up too much. It is quite runny though, so you have to watch what you put in, but other than that, yeah, they seem quite good. A little bit of a bow on them, but obviously every time they're bedded into the scenic area, there's no noticeable. And I have got Rusty's cabinets, and that is just wide enough to fit another one in there should I wish to make an addition to the Scenics. But obviously I've gained another one now, pending the arrival of the replacement for the correct one. So quite happy with those. Bit different. I know there's a few other people do them as well, but not quite sure where they'll live, but I'll have them for when when the build is done. But final, just had a message from Mr. Lovejoy Toy, or whatever his name is. He wants his coaches back that he refunded me on the other week. Even though giving me a refund before I send the items back means I can't send the items back because the postage label is cancelled out. Because obviously eBay think, well, if you're giving a full refund before receiving the goods, it's done and dusted. So he emailed me about 5 or 6 days later asking if I'd posted them back. To which I responded, no, because I ain't paying to post them back. So then he emailed me back to say he'd cover the cost of £2.85. I thought, well, the time I put them in a box, they're going to cost more than £2.85, and my car was on axle stands. And I don't do a lot of walking it back because I am disabled. So I said, go on the Raw Mail website, register, and you can raise a collection, and they do the label and everything. So they are going back to him. So it saves me trying to search around for replacement bits. I wasn't really that bothered either way. I could have sort of obviously told him to jog on because the job's done, sort of thing, but they're just ornaments at the minute, and as I said before, although obviously I've got the money back on them, but to spend out nearly as much again just to get the wheels is not what I need to be doing, really. I can buy ones with wheels for the same sort of money, so they're going.